sweetest feeling for Rotherham United.
What's got round the back, and Richard Wood has done it again. It's done. It's Georgie Kelly.
Do me a favour, drop me off in Rotherham.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to New York Talk. This is the Rotherham United podcast, and we have a game to talk about, which is good enough and exciting in itself, but it was a victory, an opening day victory. And for a podcast, it's perfect because there's loads to talk about from the game. Not good for all our health and all our hearts yesterday, but it gives us plenty to talk about over the next hour or so, and we will do that. Mick's with us, first of all. How are you, Mick?
I'm all good, mate. Thank you. Are you?
Yeah, very, very, very good. Steve's back with us. How you doing, Steve?
Excellent, thank you.
Good stuff. And Sam's back. How you doing, Sam?
Yeah, good, thank you. Happy with the 3 points.
Well, absolutely are. YouTube says, good evening, one and all wins a win. Middle 6-6, a good evening, everybody. Easy, not really. John Hinchliffe says, evening, a lot of potential. Kelly Pussick, evening, all. Going to be an enjoyable season, if that's anything to go by. Sarah Alder, as is Darren Cook. Harry says, I'm not sure I can do 45 more of them. My physical, mental health can't take it. Footman says, good evening, hard slog, but 3 points is what it is all about. It doesn't matter how you get them as long as you get them. He asked about the non-bay injury, which there's no update yet, which is a worry. Fishman Sid's with us, as is Nick, Chris Page, loads with us actually. Noel Jordan, Steve Gauntlet. Thank you everybody who's joined us so far. If you want anything you want us to go through, you can put it in the comments. We will go through them there. We'll come to the specifics in a minute, Mick, because there's 3 goals, a couple of red cards, and a load of debuts to talk about. So not much, but how are you feeling? Still kind of buzzing, happy with where are you?
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the 3 points. I feel I wouldn't say I'm buzzing. I wouldn't say I'm kind of bouncing and thinking, yay, I'm looking forward to this because it's going to be a long old slog, I think. But on the flip side of that, I think there's a lot of positives to take. From yesterday's performance overall. So yeah, I'm happy with it. Let's put it that way. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Sam, obviously, we all 3 did the instant reaction yesterday. What was your kind of instant reaction, and has that changed over the last 24 hours or so?
I'm happy with it. Before I messaged you on my prediction, I predicted 4-1. Thought it might have been a bit optimistic, but you never know. Like I'm sure say, it's a work in progress. We're better off than we were last year already, so that's a good start. And they're only going to get better. They're just gelling, aren't they? That's the main thing to take from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't want to peak on opening day, Steve. I remember a few years ago where Barnsley pumped Port Vale 7-0 and Port Vale finished above them in the league. You don't want to you want to win, but you don't want to have the best performance of the season on opening day, do you? You want to build up to something. I think hopefully that's what we're doing.
Yeah, yesterday showed, as we said after the game, the good and bad side. I mean, the bad side is that there's reasons for the bad side. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, we got 3 points. As Ami said in his interview, there's half the league, fans and managers and what have you, would have loved to have had 3 points instead of 0 points. So we got 3 points. And that's the one thing that has stuck with me in the last 24 hours is I'm really chuffed at the way we actually hung on. I know it was very unpleasant at times, but we hung on to 3 points that on 65 minutes looked as though we might lose. So, yeah, exactly. All good here, frankly.
John Birmingham fans played Port Vale in a friendly recently. They aren't a bad side, well coached under Moore. I would be surprised if they go down, to be honest with you. I think they've already built a good squad, and Darren Moore's obviously a very, very good manager, so certainly nothing to be... and
they spent quite a lot of money.
Certainly on wage. I don't know about transfer, but the Cam Humphreys, for a team that's just come up, won't be on no. And for League 2 last year, they did a lot as well. Let's go through it, Mick. Goals. Sam Nombe with the first one, with probably the cross of the season from Joe Raffet. It was that good. It was one of those when he first did it, he thought, what is that? And as it's going through the air, you think, oh my God, this is actually really, really, really good. And then to be fair to Nombe, we'll talk about the second goal. These are 2 sides to Nombe. That's a great, great finish. As much as it's a good cross, it's a tough finish to take it first time.
Yeah, I mean, I would have thought the ball coming in's come, I don't know, 35, 40 yards through the air. And he's took it first time, sliding, first time. It's a great finish, but the cross is special. It really is, and maybe it's a one-off from Rafa. I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe he's missed it. I don't know. But it was an absolute world-class cross. That sounds ridiculous to say. We're talking about Rotherham United in League One, but it genuinely was. If you see that in an international game, the commentators are creaming themselves over who's done it. It's just it was a beautiful pinpoint, perfect cross, and a great finish. Given how far the ball had travelled, he really did a good job in getting on the end of it, timing his run, and the finish, was ideal. Was perfect. Bottom corner, keeper no chance. Love it.
Yeah. J-Boy says Rafferty with his Roberto Carlos cross. Chris Page saying it was Trent pass worldy. Nick had a great ball by Raf, but Nombe did really well to get on the end of it like he did. Maybe Vale kills should be. If I was a Port Vale fan, I would be questioning my goalkeeper because he got something on it. But I'm not a Port Vale fan, so I don't care. Tonke says, I was just criticising Rafa for forgetting he's not a right back anymore and he shouldn't be up there. And then he had to eat my words.
Yeah.
And this is something, again, we didn't have a good season last year, Sam, but Rafa was one of those for me that had a good season. And I didn't put a ball in like that last year, but he showed he can put those balls in. And as a right centre-back, it gives you that extra little bit of something if he does continue to play there because, well, it's just a worldie of a cross.
Yeah, 100%. He's always like a good solid 7 every match in it. He don't go above, he don't go down. You can just rely on him. And I feel like last season he did put quite a lot of crosses in compared to everybody else. When he tried, but I think he's already compared himself to Trent Annie on social media with that cross. So yeah, it's been nice to see he's been humble with that cross. Now, I don't know what he was doing there being centre back to start with, but I'm not complaining with it. Put it that way.
Exactly. And we'll come on to the goal in a minute, Steve. But it was fully deserved, that goal for the first half an hour, 35 minutes, whatever it was for that game until the red card. We were excellent, and we deserved those 2 goals coming to. And obviously, the first one's where the real quality is. But it was fully deserved from the team performance up until that point.
We imposed ourselves on them. And I thought that was the impressive part of the first 20-25 minutes, is that we're picking up second balls, we were jumping on them as soon as they were in possession. Just a quick, and I mentioned this yesterday as well, the ball from Lenny up to Rafferty. A lot of our centre-backs last season were just passing it mainly sideways at a trundling pace, let's say. Yeah. But that ball from Lenny, because I was watching him, I thought, he's cool here, and he just suddenly, with pace on it, in exactly the right place for Rafferty to be able to become Roberto Carlos for a split second. So, looking even further back, again, let's not go overboard, but I thought that was really excellent. 1, 2, bang, get in. But yeah, the team itself, I thought, were excellent for the first 25 minutes. My favourite Dango just makes us tick up there. He's all over the place, ratting about. And I thought Powell was excellent as well, as was Liam Kelly.
I agree. I'll definitely come on to Liam Kelly. Kelly says the same as you, though, Steve. Good ball from the young fella at the back to set it up as well. Absolutely. Again, something I didn't pick up at the time, but watching it back, absolutely right. It was a really nice inside ball. Yeah, Mick. Let's touch on Sam Nombe. Before we go on to the second goal, let's have a Sam Nombe loving. I said this to you as soon as I can't remember the first or second goal, because obviously we talked about other people's pre-season predictions. You do not get relegated with Sam Nombe in your team. You just don't. He does too many good things, and those goals. And you can forget about even if he didn't score yesterday, he still had a very, very good game. He is such a good player, and those are very early signs. That's the only sign that there's a bit of a step up from last year.
It's a big statement, that man, isn't it? Big statement.
Which one?
That not getting relegated.
You don't
We've
get
only
relegated.
played one game, man. Come on.
You don't, do you? You just
Calm
don't.
down.
Unless we're in Championship, obviously, because we did.
He's a hell of a player, and I can see him getting well into double figures this season easily. Probably before Christmas, I would argue. The way he performed yesterday. Obviously, we've got the injury issue. It looks like a calf. We don't know what the situation is going to be with that, but hopefully it's just a little bit of a tweak, and he'll be back performing. But yeah, he's a hell of a player. It's worth the money that we paid for him. There's no doubt about that. He's probably worth more than that in this day and age. And if he starts banging the goals in regularly, then he'll be worth even more. However, we do know from his Exeter days and his days with us that he tends to go in phases, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He'll have 2 or 3 games where he scores, and then 3 or 4 where he doesn't hit the target. So consistency. If he can gain some consistency in his playing and his finishing this season, then I agree with you 100%. That will get us to the 50-point mark pretty quickly. So excellent. I really like Nombe. We've talked about him many times on this podcast, haven't we? He's a grafter. He's a typical Rotherham United player.
Yeah.
He's a hard-working. He'll chase a lost cause, and he's got the ability to finish. And now we're looking like we're going to start getting balls in the box, and he can play off somebody like Jordan Hugill. He's going to start singing, I'm sure.
Anybody think he's beefed up a bit?
Possibly, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But Jules looked as though he was a bit more robust, let's say.
Yeah.
That Morford is a bit of a beef up though.
Doesn't he just? Absolutely does.
Needs to come round our house for a chip butty.
We said we're not going to look too far ahead this season, but I just want to wrap up what people say about Nombe's contract situation. There's 2 years left on his contract. So he's not going anywhere anytime soon for anything other than a lot of money. Well, again, when it's not look too far ahead because he's our player, and if we sell him, you make money. That's the kind of money we're talking about. But I don't worry about too much yet. He's going to leave for nothing yet. But Nombe gets a second goal, Sam, from a set piece this time. So from a cross and a set piece, 2 things we've been asking for about 3 years. Good ball in, and to be fair, I know Nombe's done a Nombe thing, but Denzel Hall's done quite well to get the ball back into a dangerous area.
That's it, innit? Yeah. I couldn't figure out, because where I was at, I couldn't work out who headed the ball back in. But going back to the first goal, he didn't do much of that last season in terms of first-time finishes. He's normally involved, obviously, running with it or hitting it from distance, but that's something he's added to his game. And it's just following on from last season when Amshaw come in, because they score every game on Amshaw. Almost every game, weren't it?
4 in 8, 5 in 8, something like that.
Yeah. So he's just following it on. And someone mentioned Champions League, the person in front of me. You were like, "Oh, Champions League in a few seasons." I'm like, "Oh no, I can't be saying that already." Well, yeah, I was buzzing because I put him as captain on fantasy team.
I saw that.
I when they scored 2, I'm like, "Oh yes, here we go, cooking."
Yeah. We have some people in the comments. Kelly Burkhalter was mentioned doing the about the early ball in. With Nombe last season, Steve, there was always maybe a slight worry that Malik Wilkes made Sam Nombe look as good as he did last year. I think he got 15 goals plus 5 assists. There's always that when he played with somebody like Malik Wilkes, is it just because Malik Wilkes is there creating something, taking the defenders away from him to cause the problems? Day one is kind of answered those questions, really, because Hugill, although we'll come on to Hugill, I think Hugill had a good game. Hugill's not going to draw the attention like a Malik Wilkes type player. Nombe still managed to pick up 2 goals. So he's kind of ticked off that thing where he seems like he's happy to be. It's day one, let's not get carried away, but he seems quite happy to be the main man.
Yeah, he's he is the main man. He's been there. He's been here as long as Hugill, hasn't he?
A bit less than Hugill coming 6
months less, but yeah, he's improved each time, because I was wondering why we'd spent $1 million on him when we first got him, because he didn't have a very good touch in my view, and he looked a bit lost. But yesterday he looked powerful, as I say, from his build, and also his touch seems to have improved gradually over the last couple of years. And just the positioning of him for that Rafferty cross. And also they've evidently worked on that set piece. I mean, Amy likes a set piece, as he mentioned in his... He didn't shy away from taking credit, did he? Or his team taking credit for it. But, you know, he was in the right place at the right time, and he was the first on it. And his backside can score goals as well, of course. You know, never forget that.
Exactly. I mean, look at some of the goals he scored last season, some absolute tap-ins, weren't they?
Yeah.
It's just, but you've got to be there. Nobody
He was
else
in the right place at the right time. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Exactly. We have Chris there saying Nombe came upstairs after the game, said he was okay. Hopefully, it was just an impact injury. Harry had it, assuming because that nobody said anything, it's not that serious. If it was serious, Paul Davis would have probably put an article out by now, which again is probably true. Nick says Nombe is a Rotherham player, a proper Rotherham player. Robbie says Nombe and Powell should be offered new deals. Better to learn from the past and be proactive, which we hope to be the case. But time will tell. Time will tell with these kind of things.
Phones off any for a month.
Yeah, exactly. Tom K says he can see Dan Gore and Nombe having some good link-up play this season. Yes, Steve mentioned then, Mick, about Dan Gore, and I don't think he impacted the game as much as he did against Peterborough in the last game of last season, where I thought it was everywhere. But he was important to the press. He was very, very important to what we were trying to press. And he was just a constant nuisance everywhere. And when he had the ball, I thought it was more than competent. I thought it was very, very good on the ball. But it's not front three, obviously. But front three, Nombe, Hugill, and Gore. I won't want to come up against it. If I saw that coming against it, I'd be pretty worried.
Yeah. There's certainly some talent in there, isn't there? I'll be honest with you. In terms of Dan Gore yesterday, I don't really remember him doing a great deal. That's not to say I'm saying he had a bad game or anything like that. He didn't stand out to me as being particularly involved in the game or doing anything particularly well. But that's not necessarily a bad thing from a midfielder in that position. You know, he's doing the dirty work. And you don't necessarily see that, and I certainly didn't see it yesterday. So maybe I'm not the right person to talk about Dan Gore or his performance yesterday. I'm very, very pleased he's with us, though. Very, very pleased. There's no doubt the lad's a hell of a talent. So if we can keep him fit, then I hope to see a little bit more of him this season than I did yesterday.
Well, that was it yesterday, Mick. I think because Kelly, you saw a lot of Kelly and Powell, but quite a bit of that possession was as a result of Gore pressing their players and second ball being picked up. I mean, I think we noticed when he went off in the second half the difference that made. We weren't pressing very well at all, if at all, at times. So yeah, I like you. I mean, I'm a big fan of his, and I can't wait to just watch him. He looks a footballer. The way he moves, the way he runs, the way he holds himself. Can't wait. Just need to keep him fit.
He loves a scrap, doesn't he? Loves a scrap.
Oh, yeah.
Players yesterday, didn't he? Somehow, when they're like 2 foot taller than him.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. John Sullivan says, when Dan Gore went off, we lost all our attacking ideas going forward. We sat back and allowed pressure on, which is absolutely right. Before we come on to the red card and everything else kind of changed the game in there, Sam, let's stay on the positive side of things while we can. The balance of that team, 11 against 11, was excellent. And I think we may well have shell-shocked Port Vale a little bit with how aggressive we went first off. But everything just seemed to fit and work and go in the right direction. So again, we'll come on to the next stage of things in a minute. But it just seemed to work and fit together like a jigsaw, like a plan, I suppose.
Yeah, 100%. They didn't look like they got through a few times, but it didn't go anywhere. And I thought, I was thinking this is too easy, this. And I don't know what aspects it was that was making it that way. I thought it was the Gore and Kelly, because they were winning everything, every second ball, and Lenny as well, heading everything out, and then they kind of cleared up. So I think that's what the difference was in the second half. But yeah, we kept ball. Lenny, I thought Cam Humphries were laid back. He's just a different level, isn't he? It stands with the ball for about 5 minutes, just waits for someone, and he threads it through and like takes a full line out every time. He threaded it so many times through like a full, like all their strikers pressing just set them out of it. So yeah, I think that's what it was. I think he was Gore and Kelly, especially when it's second balls. I think that's why he was so comfortable. They couldn't do anything with it. Port Vale.
Yeah, I agree. John Sullivan says it's a shame the first 10 minutes the press didn't last long. Something to work on. We created a chance, and I agree. I think we've stunned Vale. You can't press for the full 90 minutes. You've got to press in stage, as I'm sure we'll see through the season. Let's stick with Lenny for a minute, Steve, because he's only 20-year-old, but he looks a really, really good player. And what I'm pleased about, you can sometimes see with a Cam Humphreys kind of player where fans just don't take to that laid-back style in the centre-back. Some fans don't like it, and they want to see a lump it and everything else, blah, blah, blah. Everybody seems to have taken to Lenny straight away. So already, he's got a bit of credit in the bank. So when he does make his mistakes, because he's absolutely definitely going to make one, he's got that credit in the bank because he's just a likable character already. Everybody seems to have taken to him because he had a great game. Absolutely.
I mean, what a start to make. I mean, he's got springs in his heels. When he goes up for honestly, some of his headers just went a long way. And that's a great talent to have is to clear headers like he does. And also, like we mentioned earlier on with that pass to Rafferty, he's not bad with his feet as well. He's confident on the ball, and I know we passed it. We kept possession a little bit like we do on the back line. But yeah, really promising start. As you say, he's only 20. So again, promising, really impressed. Let's see.
Yeah, absolutely. John Sullivan, yeah. Lenny won everything for a lad only 20. Wow. Yeah, I mean, he is definitely in the Cam Humphreys mould. He's obviously a Cam Humphreys type player. He likes to go the ball back, but he is much better. Cam Humphreys didn't win that much in air yesterday. Lenny won basically everything. And to be given that kind of middle role of the back three is quite a big responsibility because you're in charge of distribution and everything else that comes with it. The very, very early signs, and again, the very, very early, but the early signs are that we've got a hell of a player there.
Yeah, 100%. I thought he was excellent and close to being man at match. I think if nobody had scored both goals, then it would have been close. I mean, he made a couple of mistakes. He got caught out of position a couple of times, and players getting in behind him. But that's going to happen. It's going to happen. Say again.
He headed his own man with Jules.
Well, we'll talk about that in a bit, shall we? Yeah, I mean, he was at fault for that. I don't think we can, because he's looking straight at Zach Jules, and you can see Zach Jules is going for the ball, and yet I was amazed that he still went for it. It just seemed a bit bizarre. So I understand why Zach Jules were a little bit cross with him, but putting that bit to one side. He was immense, wasn't he? He was really good. He looks a real talent. First game of season, let's not get carried away with ourselves. But at 20 years old, and you hit the nail on the head for me, that centre of a back three is a big responsibility. You've usually got an experienced player in there, a player who's been around the block a little bit, and then the two younger players tend to be on either side. So he performed that role really, really well. I don't think he did miss a header. I'm pretty sure. I think, well, maybe he did. I think he maybe missed one where he came a little bit short for it. But yeah, really, really good, really promising.
And are we calling him Lenny like me because I can't pronounce his surname?
Yeah, 100% Lenny. And Marvin as well.
Yeah, and it's also reminds me, of course, of Lenny Goater. He's the first Lenny we'll have had since then, properly, isn't it?
Yeah,
exactly. And Kelly Forbes is rightly points out, Lenny has a great teacher in Woody.
Yeah,
there's not many players in lower league that you want to learn that position from than Richard Wood. And Richard Wood obviously didn't have the technical ability that Lenny seems to as well. So that's a good partnership or whatever it seems to be. Andy says she was very impressed with Lenny yesterday. Can't believe his age. J-Boy says, don't think Jules appreciate the headbutt. No. Tom K, the only worry I have for Lenny is if the other teams stick a big strike on and bully him, time will tell if he can deal with it. But that's part of the process, isn't it?
He dealt with Kiefer Moore, didn't he? So, because I watched the Sheffield United match, and Kiefer Moore couldn't win a header against him, so I don't think there's many big strikers in this league who's bigger than Kiefer Moore.
No, absolutely. But it's part of the learning process. He's got to learn to deal with different strikers, Sam. And in League One, the good thing about League One is you're so many different types of teams. Whereas Championship are more footballing teams. League One, you get a good mixture. Yeah. So as a learning ground, it's perfect for learning, I think.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's the pacey ones I'd be more worried about because you didn't really see how quick he was. Really, they were tracking back. I know he got way back when Jules got sent off. So that's why I didn't understand why Jules pulled him back because Lenny had it covered anyway. So I didn't understand that one.
No, I didn't. Right, let's move on to the red cards. Port Vale red cards. Anything I've anything to add on it? It was a nailed on. There was no malice, no intent, but it's a straight red. Anything? Anybody want to say anything on that one?
Nah. Yeah, it was straight red.
Yeah, one of those because when you eat ground, you don't because we're obviously family stand. We're so far away. I thought that's it, and then you watch replay. And God, yeah, that's a red card. That's a double red card. Well done. Then we come on to the Rotherham red card, Mick. We'll come to other stuff. The Rotherham red card. Which one's the first yellow card? There was people in the comment mentioning it. Who's at fault? Shellstone asking who's at fault for it. It's just poor. From Cam Dawson's at Jules, it's just poor. You've got to do better than that. You're 2-0 up or whatever it was at the time. You've got to be more sensible. You've got to first game of the season. We all know referees are clamping down on everything. You've got to be switched on, and that's just poor for both of them. Yeah,
I think if you're going to lay the blame at anybody's door, I think I'm going to lay at our Webb's door for coming up with this stupid rule. But no, look, we know that they're going to clamp down for the first 2 or 3 games at least, first 4 or 5 games maybe even on time wasting. You know that, you've been told. So I'm not sure what we were planning about with this goal kick, Lark, to be honest with you. You know, with two defenders and a goalkeeper, and then we went long every time. I don't think we played, or I think we maybe played it short once in the second half. So I don't really understand why we were fanning about with it there, quite frankly. But
it's been coming, Mick. It has, and you know, we've been doing it from 5-10 minutes in.
Yeah,
messing about with the ball.
Yeah.
You know, Cam Humphreys going and just having a good chat with one of the defenders before he decided to take the goal kick. And it was obvious to me that at some stage the referee was going to pull a yellow.
Yeah.
And we gave him that excuse.
I don't think we can complain about it.
No, not at all.
The players might want to complain about it, but don't do it. You know, you know that's what they're going to be clamping down on for a bit. So don't become a victim of it. And we did.
Stupidity. Why were we time wasting at 37 minutes?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a rhetorical question because there isn't an answer. We don't know.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But I'm sure.
Before that, I think he was time wasting even before that. It was just slow time getting ball or something.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And my brother said we're going to pay for that at some stage, and by God, we did.
Yeah,
we did. People in the comments basically the same. Shelley says, feel like Zach Jules had a very silly yellow card considering we were relatively light at centre half at the minute. We have another one saying Mike the Miller, stupid mentality from the keeper and Jules. Both should have been booked. Why on earth were we time wasting? And also, I don't know if Cam Dawson did get booked in the end, Sam, but Cam Dawson was time wasting like his life depended on it. It was very lucky not to get more, and as a result, we're lucky there weren't more than 7 minutes added on because he was time wasting really early on.
Oh, everyone sat around me were doing the nut every time, and obviously they were booing. Referee were coming over telling him. I weren't sure if he got a yellow card at any point, but he's a senior player, and I'm assuming someone will have come into the club and told them the new rule and everything before, and he's still doing it from probably about 10 minutes in, and then he's doing it half of them going to add another 4 minutes on because of how long it took. Because this still someone went down as well, injured. And I thought, oh, here we go. We're going to be playing until about 5 o'clock here. It was just so frustrating. So frustrating. Yeah. Avoidable. And I don't know who's going to play against Stevenage at centre-back now.
Exactly. That's part of the exactly. That's what makes it even more frustrating because the only position we're really, really short in is that position. That's when we get the suspension in. Harry said, right, Hamshaw said he was confused as why they were time wasting at that point. So it's clearly, there's clearly no instruction from the bench to take Sting out of the game. Otherwise, Hampshire would be defending the players, saying it was on him.
Gareth Ainsworth style.
Say again, mate?
Gareth Ainsworth style.
Gareth Ainsworth style. Gareth Ainsworth is Matt Hampshire is the new Gareth Ainsworth. That's what we're saying.
And to be honest, the referee I thought was very patient.
I agree.
He could have booked the players after 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. Port Vale fans were upset with him. I thought the referee in general had a really, really good game. Got 2 big decisions correct, and other than that, I didn't really notice him. I thought he had a really, really good game. Then comes the second yellow, Steve. Watching it back, it's one of those that's frustrating because he has touched him, but I don't actually think he's done anything to pull him back. But the player's gone down, and as soon as that happens, you know what's going to happen. But it obviously comes from a Josh Benson terrible Plaster Yearwood who had 3 men around him, which then caused the break from Port Vale. It was just it summed up post 32 minutes of the entire game for us, that red card. It was just a bad 30 seconds, really bad 30 seconds for us.
Yeah, it was a catalogue of errors, frankly. You know, the hesitancy between the 2 midfielders meant that they stole the ball and pushed it between the defenders. And like you say, as soon as he went down, I think Jules knew he'd gone. Yeah. He didn't argue, did he? He got up, waited for the red to be shown and went off. And yeah, it illustrated the whole passage of play that we had in terms of planning lost the plot. We didn't seem to know what we were supposed to be doing anymore. Hence why there was hesitation with the 2 midfielders. I mean, again, bear in mind, they'd not been on that long. You know, so I'm going to give them a bit of slack at the moment, but that really needs not to happen again.
Yeah, it does. And let's go back to John Sullivan says he made a meal of it, but unfortunately the ref left with no choice. Yeah, I think that sums it up pretty well, to be honest with John. But yeah, we'll go back to the kind of their red card when the game changed. For some reason, we have a history of being terrible against 10 men, and that goes across basically every manager we've ever had. We didn't know what to do. It was like we got confused how to play against 10 men. We stopped doing what we were doing well and took the foot off the gas, and you can't do that. When they go down to 10 men, when we were in the ascendancy, it's not like we were under the cosh and then they got 10 men. We were in the ascendancy. They go down to 10 men. You've got to put that foot on the throat and take them to the kill, because you get a third before half time. Game's done and dusted. We can all go home basically half time. It lack of experience, maybe. I don't know.
I think there's a combination of factors, isn't there? I don't think you can say that this team is any worse than any other because it's a new team. You know, it's nothing to do with what's happened in the past. But we need to go in for a kill, and we didn't. But again, the first game at season, you know, 4 or 5 of that squad have played together before. I know that's not an excuse. I understand that, but we didn't do it, and we should have done. There's not a lot else to say about it, is there really? You know, but a lot of times, you know, the advantage for the team who've still got 11 when somebody gets sent off, it rarely pans out to a 7-8-0 victory, does it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The opposition changed the way that they play, as Port Vale did, and the games tend to be just as close, if not closer, or more cagey. That wasn't the case yesterday, but it certainly was just as close when they had 10. It's not necessarily the advantage that it should be for whatever reason. I don't know, and it certainly weren't. We just did not take them to the cleaners, and we should have done. We could have done as well, I think.
Yeah, but they were on the floor. They were on the floor until half time. Matt Mills thought we were better after Jules went off. I thought we were better as soon as we got level men again. It seemed to kick us up arse a little bit. Tom came right at the point that we did beat Huddersfield and Reading last season at home with their man stuff. We absolutely did. We weren't great, but we won the games, which is all that matters, and we won this one.
I would say we beat Port Vale this time as well.
Yeah,
not as convincingly as we should have done.
No. Nick says, I think lack of experience in the age had a lot to do with that second half. We never looked after the ball and used that extra man. We were panicking, and maybe that's down to a side having a young team. Yeah, and Liam Kelly as well. Steve's always mentioned him before, Sam, but Liam Kelly is going to be massive to this season because he is that calm head. And what we started to do, we just started to bypass that midfield. We kind of reverted back to last season where we just go long and into the channels. And that was just a disaster. It gifted them the ball back. If you got Liam Kelly on the pitch, you need to kind of try and play through him. Even when you're under cosh, you still try and we just never really recovered until the game went back to 10 each.
No, the start of last season, I didn't understand what Kelly was about, really. It was until we started using the midfield under Hampshire, you're like, right, I get it now. And you saw it yesterday. He goes in for everything. It's a bit like, I can't, a cross between Rathbone and Barlasser in terms of he sits back and he can pass it and dictate it, but he does go in for everything and normally gets it. I think what we're doing as well is we changed the whole midfield, didn't we? Pretty much, apart from Powell, all at once.
Yeah.
And I think we should have just taken one out and like stagger him a bit. I think that's what will balance it all as well. I think that was the reason why we missed out the midfield completely. Because we took both Gore and Kelly off at the same time. Yeah, and I think we should have maybe staggered it and just take one of them off. It wouldn't have been as bad then, I don't think.
Yeah, possibly. Kelly Ford says Kelly ran the show for the first 30 minutes. Yeah, he did. Back to the positive, Steve. That midfield, that starting midfield, we'll talk about subs in a minute because they didn't work out. But that starting midfield is a hell of a midfield. They complement each other. They've all got their own each individual attribute that works perfectly. Got Joe Powell does what Joe Powell does. Liam Kelly just mentioned Sam does, and Dan Gore does a bit of everything. Plus, he's got a bit of range. So that starting midfield seems like it's going to be up there. It's great. There will be some, but not many better midfielders than that, I don't think.
Yeah, we haven't, and I don't think some people have written off Benson. Some people, and to be quite honest, we only saw him for 20 minutes, and yeah, he didn't have a great time. But yeah, I mean, Kelly, when the game first started, I thought we're playing a 4-1-2-3 or something here, aren't we? And because Kelly was sat in front of the back four, you got your two midfielders then, Powell and Hall, I think, and then Dan Gore was playing a kind of a number 10 role, ratting and what have you. And I think you're right. I mean, we have got Kelly's a class player.
Yeah,
he's 35 now. I mean, Mark Robbins had him at Coventry for a long time, and the only reason he let him go was basically his age, and he wanted to refresh his team. You know where Dan Gore's come from, where his pedigree is, and Joe Powell has got better and better and better since Hampshire turned up. So I agree with you. If we can keep the midfield together, as evidenced in some ways by the second half fallout, but again, Benson and Yearwood have only been here. They've hardly played any football for a year. So, we have got real good potential in that midfield, no doubt.
Yeah. So I can only mistake Kelly was got caught in the square for the Vale goal. He did better otherwise. Yeah, we'll touch on that now. Mick, the Port Vale goal. It was coming. It was always coming. Yeah. Kelly's got a question mark over that. Also, the ball back seemed to go under a couple of players as well. Yes, Kelly's at fault partially, but the central defenders have got a bit better with the ball that came back across. I just thought it was there to be attacked from us.
Yeah, it was definitely. I passed 3, maybe 4 of our players on the floor. At least one of them should have got something on that. It was a bit naive defending, to be fair.
Yeah.
And obviously it's a tap in the back post, isn't it? It very disappointing, but it was coming. We were under pressure, and we were under pressure because through our own fault, really, because we didn't return the ball. We started to panic, and then panic actually set in. And we just struggled from that point onwards. We didn't return the ball. We were just hoofing it out. We weren't winning any second balls for whatever reason. And definitely those changes in midfield, 3 at a time or two at a time or whatever, certainly impacted that. I think that's something that I'm sure we'll learn from. That to almost change a whole unit all in one go it's just not doable, particularly when you're under the cosh.
He did same with strikers as well, didn't he? He took them both off at the same time.
Yeah. So again, that's going to be a learning point for him as a manager. But yeah, the goal was disappointing, but it was coming, and if that hadn't gone in, there would have been another one, I'm sure. But it was our own fault, I think, ultimately.
Credit to Port Vale, though.
Well, yeah, I was about to say that, Steve. Yeah. give them credit. They came out different formation in the second half, and they put the foot on the gas. But with the extra man, I feel that we should have dealt with that.
You're probably right, but I don't think any of us realised they're not a bad team at all.
No, they're not.
Second half, I mean, I listened a bit to Darren Moore today, and he was not happy at all with his team's performance in the first half, lack of aggression, etc., and you could tell that they've been given a bit of a slapping because they were out 5 minutes before us. Regardless of whether they had 10 men or not, as soon as they got on the ball, they started passing it around, and I thought that they transferred the pressure that we were putting on them in the first half. They transferred it onto us. They were picking up the second balls. And once we had no possession, that's when we start resorting to panic, which means launching it long and losing the ball again. So I could see what was going on. I didn't particularly enjoy it. And the goal came from that sort of instance anyway. And then when we made the substitutions at the end with players that have only been here 24 hours, it just made it worse. But it seemed to hang on.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to a positive, Sam. We did hold on. And I know they hit the post as well later on, but they weren't creating chance after chance. Dawson wasn't getting peppered. They had one chance, they missed it, and we defended pretty resolutely. Certainly after we went down to 10 men, we defended very resolutely. And that will do those particularly the young players, the world good that they got that over the line, because they'll have that confidence next time. Hopefully, it should be a really good building block.
Oh, yeah, and Dawson made a couple of saves, didn't he? A few routine saves. But I think the whole thing is a good experience, especially for the younger players, because if we ever find ourselves in that situation again where we're 2-0 up at half-time, they know to go for a kill and not sit back. Because I think that also played a factor in terms of they were kind of a bit like, it sounded like they were a bit on beach second half, so like, oh, this is easy. We'll just do it again. So I think it's a big positive that they hung on for the character and they didn't concede again. And the other thing is not to make the same mistake in terms of sitting back and taking it when we're winning 2-0. Just carry on. Because I was expecting the second half, thinking they're down a man and they're going to be pushing for a goal. They could be open here and we could get through, especially with Denzel. When did Denzel come off?
About an hour, just after an hour.
Yeah, because he's rapid. I thought, utilise the wing backs and we could get through because they're going to be pushing. But it didn't pan that way, did it? So.
J-Boy says Hampshire guaranteed heart, and I definitely saw that in the defending in the last minutes of the game. And again, Steve, that's as much as the first half is a fantastic springboard. The way that they defended in the last 20 minutes or so after the red card. That is, again, something to build on. That game will have given Lenny more experience in 90 minutes than it ever has in the rest of his career, probably. And a few other players as well. It should be a massive, hopefully a springboard for the players for the rest of the season.
When he stuck the 7-minute board up, I thought, I want to go home now. I didn't want to do it. But I was pleasantly surprised. All right, they nearly scored in the very last minute? I can't remember. But we managed to get the ball up the left, and Powell did some trickery, and we wasted a couple of minutes there. We also had Reece James down, didn't we?
Yeah.
At the beginning. I mean, he was down for a minute, so he ended up playing up to 98 minutes, I think. But the way that I thought he's quite heroic in some ways. Let's not over dramatize it, but a bit heroic, I thought. Because this time last year we would have lost that game. I know it's probably hard to believe. We would have. And them lads, young lads, will have come off there completely tied out, but with 3 points in the bag. So it will do. It's a bit of confidence, isn't it?
Yeah.
Winning breeds confidence. I think.
Yeah. Absolutely, and someone like Lenny and Denzel Hall feel 10 foot tall after getting 3 points after that game, hopefully, as they should do. They had the chances. Let's deal with Phil's question because I think it's a good one. Why didn't we get the ball on the floor in the second half? Are we ever going to get a coach manager to get these players to retain the possession? Why did the keeper continue to move the ball long? But Mark Gamble's rightly put earlier, to be honest, the crowd didn't help. At 2-0, the centre-backs were keeping possession, but the crowd was skewing to get it forward. It doesn't help their confidence. And this is what I mentioned last what we have all mentioned in the last few weeks, Mick, about this learning curve as us as fans. And in the second half, Lenny was stood on the ball, and it was fine. It was absolutely fine. He had the ball. It was under control. We were winning 2-1 or 2-0 or whatever it was at the time. And the crowd were getting a little bit frustrated. And I just can't stop. It's fine. We're winning. Who cares? We're winning. If they don't want to press us, because they didn't really want to press us, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And that's where we're going to have to learn. And because both Phil and Mark are absolutely right. We do need to keep the ball better, which Lenny did try to. But also, as fans, we've got to maybe chill out a bit, which is hard. But I think we maybe do.
Mate, if we're 2-0 up, just pass it between centre back and goalkeeper for 90 minutes for me. You know, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but yeah, we need to keep the ball better. I 100% agree with Phil there, and that was the issue in that second half. Had we been able to be a little bit calmer, a little bit cuter on the ball, I think we'd have seen that game out reasonably easily, because we would have been able to take the sting out of Port Vale. Unfortunately, that's not what we did. You know, we went on it was panic. It was panic. And I would hope that as the season progresses, we're likely to see us keeping the ball much better for much longer. I mean, the team that finished that game, 2 or 3 of them have not even been at the club 2 or 3 days. You know, you can't expect anything other than what we got from those players. We probably got more than we should expect from the time that they've been with us. So I think it will come. But you're right, as supporters, we need to be aware of it. We need to be. This is not about hoofing it along, get it forward, like get it up to a big lad. You know, there will be some of that, I'm sure. But that's not what we're about. That's not what we should be about. Given the type of player that we've signed and what we want to achieve. Yeah.
We want to progress, don't we? And this is we need to, Tom Case is 2-0 up is the time to hold on to it and not hoof it. I couldn't see what the problem was. Nick agrees. We stood happy, but as soon as the crowd got in his face, he lumped it long. Yeah, he did. And you'd expect that from a 20-year-old kid in his first English game. If he gets under a bit of pressure from the crowd, he's going to make mistakes. Jordan Hugel, Sam. Somebody put a question about John Sullivan. Have you discussed Jordan Hugel faffing about and not just scoring in the first half? And that was it. I don't know why. Man of his experience, as soon as he got it, get it out of your feet and nail it. And if you don't score, you don't score. But just nail it. And that was the only criticism I had. I thought he had a good game actually, but that was he's got to better.
Yeah, I do. I forgot about that until that question. Then I completely forgot. Yeah, he just sounded like. It just come across and he had loads of time. And then all of a sudden he didn't. It was just like he took too many touches and then it was gone. And I was like, he did not put a foot wrong, to be honest, before that point. And then all of a sudden I heard people behind me like slagging him off. I was like, what? He should have hit it. But at the same time, he's played so well. I think he only went down once, which I think is a record. He's so much better. I watched him in pre-season and his touch, and he just lays it off. And I think he's just improving, and he's going to be a right player in League One. He didn't get given a chance last season, really, did he? I think under Hampshire, with arm around him, I think he's going to be a right player and perfect match for Dombe as well, because he wins a lot of long balls. That's the only criticism with Dawson, though. I think that's his only route in it. He don't pass it; he's just hoof it up. But yeah, Hugo, he's gonna be a player if he stays fit.
He likes a pirouette now rather than a fall, doesn't he?
Oh yeah,
that's what he was doing. And also, my man, Mr. Gore, played that ball through to him.
He did. It was lovely ball.
Out.
He'll be having nightmares tonight, Jordan Hugel, or last night about that, because he will know immediately that he should have absolutely nailed that one.
If you compare it to what we're at Preston when he scored that goal from miles out,
exactly, exactly.
He'll get it. It'll come for Jordan Hugel this season. I'm absolutely confident of that.
Yeah, I agree. Tom Case says Hugel is one of the players I wouldn't expect to faff about like that as well. Yeah, exactly. Paula Rhodes say up, I've got Hugo back on the back of my gold shirt. He's now my adopted great nephew. Tom Swift says Hugo was brilliant defensively. Maybe if the fans got off his back, he would have some confidence. And I feel like the fans were with him yesterday, Steve, for the most part, until the miss. Because he did, there was much less throwing himself to the ground. He tried holding it up. He won quite a lot of headers. That's the Jordan Hill I want to see.
Yeah, personally, my eyesight's not that good, so I don't see a great deal down the bottom end. Well, I do, but I can't read the numbers. So sometimes you can't tell whether it's Hugo, Nombe, or whoever. But yeah, he evidently contributed down that end of the pitch. Didn't see much of him up the top end of the pitch in the second half. There again, we didn't see much of our team at all. But yeah, he creates space, doesn't he? And there were 2 times in the second half where he got the ball pumped up to him, he took it on his chest, he managed to get it under control and actually laid it off. And that's the sort of thing that we used to watch Ronnie doing, didn't we? And all other good centre forwards. So he's evidently a good centre forward. He's had a really good career. And I agree with Sam. If he can grow some confidence, he's a quality player. So, fingers crossed, Jordan, next time, hit it hard.
Just nail it.
He wants to press as well. He wants to press. He's got quite a bit of mobility, to be fair to him.
More than the other striker that we brought on.
And I think, to be fair, somebody's mentioned it in the comments as well. Defensively yesterday, he was really good. Particularly in that second half. He had to be, obviously, but he might end up at centre half on the next Saturday, Stevenage.
No, I think the new striker could do a job there as well.
There's a new John Dungworth.
Rightly by J Boy says it was very classy. All 4 sides of the ground applaud King Ronnie yesterday, as does Harry adds that as well. Yeah, great moment. I'm sure people have been on social media have seen the video of Ronnie appreciating the crowd back as well. I can't really add anything to more than we had on Thursday to our love to Ronnie. But it was a great one for us as fans. So I can imagine how much Ronnie appreciated that. And like what she also said, Port Vale fans, hats off to those guys for joining in. No affiliation to them, but they joined in with that, and that was really, really, really nice to see. So we are all with you, Ronnie, as we say.
Absolutely.
New signs on Mick, Denzel Hall. Yeah, I'm excited about Denzel Hall.
Yeah, I am.
I like Denzel Hall. He's just got a bit of everything. He reminds me a bit of Wes Harding in terms of his build. He's quite stocky, a bit like Wes Harding, but he's got twice the amount of pace that he ever had. It was. He's a unit and he's quick and he suits English football.
I said it on post-match, I think. He's almost got Colin Bramall type pace, hasn't he?
Mm.
When he was chasing back, I can't, whatever Port Vale player it was, he every single step he was catching him and he just nailed it. He has got some serious pace, that lad. He likes to go forward. He's always in the right place. He's a really, really promising player. I really like the look of Denzel Hall, really do, and I'm excited to see a lot more of him. I would hope. I'm surprised he went off. To be honest, I don't know whether he's not fit. He wasn't part of the Portugal trip, was he?
No.
So fitness is likely to be an issue in comparison to a lot of the other players. But I'm very, very excited to see more of him.
Mm. Yeah, I think why it reminds me of Wes Harding is because the shot he took in the first half was dreadful. Where he hit it so sweetly. He just set it off on wrong path. That's all.
Yeah,
that's quite an important part.
I was hoping for that net to just bulge, but it probably I don't know it hit in the crowd. But no. I agree with every word Mick says. I was really impressed with him, and just at the potential for crying out loud. We've seen him for 60 minutes. So here's to more Denzel. Apparently, some of the ladies like him as well. Apparently, it's no bad thing. No bad thing for him, is it? Yeah, Paulie's got some competition.
Yeah,
I'm not in a Denzel Hall calendar as well, am I?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Calendar.
Don Case is the most attacking wing back we've had in years. I can see him chipping in with a few goals this season because he loves a shot. And I don't really remember seeing him cross Sam, but I'm going to assume as a wing back he can cross a bit. And he seems like we've been crying out for a a wing back who's got a bit of a footballing brain, and I mean, in the nicest way possible to the previous wing backs we've had, but he looks like he's got a head on him defensively. Like Mick says, always in position, but it was one of those games that wasn't easy for him to get forward too much. He did at times, and I think that'll come as the more and more he gets fitter, because it didn't look. We couldn't play 90 minutes.
Yeah, when he come running down, because he was in line with me as he was running down, I thought, oh, here we go, he's raining stars here. He's got, and then he just went way wide. I'm like, oh no. But then there were another time when they were breaking out Paul Vale, and he just made up so much ground.
Yeah.
That's where I'm thinking a bit of Colin Bramall, because he made up with a lot of time and pace, didn't he? So if it's a cross between Wes Harding and Colin Bramall, I'm happy with that.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah. Well, to be fair, it's almost your perfect wing back.
Yeah.
Those two together.
Yeah.
I don't want
those two into one.
A long throw, absolutely.
Yeah.
Lee McGarry says thought Coletta looked promising when he came on. Was confident to try and take back, similar to when Benny first started. Could be an exciting player.
When he sprinted down through middle. Coletta, when he sprinted through middle, didn't he? And it looked like he was going to have a shot, but he didn't end up having one, did he?
Yeah, exactly. Harry says big fan of Coletta as well. Can't really judge Martha Tete because they've been a few days, a few hours. But that right wing back area, Steve, is it's exciting, and it should be, because as we saw with Chio, if you're going to be successful in this league, you need a Chio type. You're not going to get Chio, a type player who can be aggressive, get forward, but defend a little bit. And both of those, from the little we've seen, both of them tick all the boxes at the minute.
Yeah, Coletta's a big lad, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, we've got two big lads as wing backs, and they're not short of pace. We'll see over the next few weeks. I think, as Mick said on the aftermatch yesterday, this is going to be a couple of months before we can really tell how good or how average or whatever we are. But we've got some real potential, and I've seen it with me both. Well, we've all seen it with our own eyes yesterday. You know, Coletta's a big lad and quick. Denzel, again, not quite as big, but very fast and robust. You know, and you think, fingers crossed. They're you can see what the management are trying to do. Really, they are. And we'll see Martha and then Etete at some stage over the next few weeks and see how they fit in, because Etete, looked a bit lumbering to start with, but he did a job yesterday. You can't deny it. And Martha, I think, struggled to get involved in the game. But they've only been there for 10 minutes. So let's see. You know, I'm quite excited, and it takes a lot to get me excited nowadays.
I agree. There's lots and lots to be positive about. There's other stuff we could talk about to be negative, but I think that's it.
I've seen a little bit of negativity about Etete, and I understand that. We talked about it yesterday about his apparent lack of pace and everything else. I wasn't aware he'd only arrived in Rotherham on Friday night.
Yeah.
Let's so there can be no. Let's be fair to him from everybody. There can't be any judgment on him, please. You know, the guy's not played. He's not even. I don't think he probably didn't even know the names of the people who were playing with. You know, so we cut in some slack, and as we've already mentioned, Martha. I'm really looking forward to seeing a little bit of him. But yesterday was not the time to bring on an exciting forward playing skillful player,
tricks.
No. Yeah, you needed another 10 Sean Raggetts in there yesterday. That's what we needed in that last 20 minutes. So, it's looking good. I really like a lot of these players. I like let me rephrase that. I like the idea of a lot of these players. I can see, like Steve just said there, exactly what they're trying to do with this. And that's such a breath of fresh air. You know, these players are young, they're hungry, and they are, from what we've seen so far, extremely capable, or appear to be extremely capable, even at the young age that they're at. So, if we can develop some of these, some of them won't. Some of them will inevitably fall by the wayside. But I really like it. I'm really impressed.
Yeah, I agree. It's a shame that the League Cup's not this week. It's a shame we've got to wait another week. I think a midweek game for those players that didn't play to get some proper minutes in. But then at the same time, a week ahead of the Stevenage game might be a really, really good thing because the League Cup comes the week after.
Yeah,
we'll wait and see.
They looked a bit broken at the end of the game, didn't they? Yesterday, I mean,
yeah,
I know it's the first game, but you got Nombe going off. You got Reece James on his backside, who was evidently not fit in the last 5 minutes, and so on and so forth. So I think a week this week will give them all chance to clear their heads and for the management to look at what happened and for some of the players to actually understand that was great. I bet quite a few of them loved it yesterday.
Yeah.
Some of the new players. So, yeah, here's to Stevenage.
Shame we didn't get Wiradoo win, though, isn't it?
Shame what, sorry?
Shame we didn't get Wiradoo win. And,
he had a good game, didn't he?
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. Good finish. Really good finish.
Yeah.
And he had a fight as well with that Barnsley lad, didn't he?
Yeah.
Have you seen another angle of that when he's just clinging on to him for about 5 minutes?
Yeah. Barney.
Let's take up some comments. Mike the Miller says, just thinking back and comparing the mood of the podcast with the first game of last season, chalk and cheese. Yeah.
Mike wasn't here on Thursday night. I don't think you were in the comments, Mike, but as from my own personal point of view, and I know this is not all about me, but I'm going to just make this little part about me. We made some new season resolutions, and I will not be mentioning last season. You will.
You just out.
Season resolution.
Yeah, exactly.
We're first game of the season, we're not being trained very well.
Totally agree with Mike.
Anyway, Harry says, when does the virtual trophy start? There's no idea. I've just checked. The fixtures aren't out for the virtual trophy yet, which is weird. The draw's been made, but there's no fixtures online. So I don't know is the answer to that one.
Which one's that? Is that the league?
It was August time when it first started last year because we played Mansfield, didn't we, when Alex McDonald got sent off, weren't it?
No.
That was early on in the season.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
It's the Papa John's, isn't it?
Oh, it's Papa John's, is it? Right.
Yeah.
We need to go back to Papa John's.
We do because we won that one.
Yeah, but yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
did you like the fact that all our triumphs were coming round the boards?
I did.
Yeah.
I thought that was a nifty little thing to do.
Yeah.
It was. The video before the game was good. It would have been better if anybody in the family stand would have been able to hear it as well, because the speakers weren't working in the family stand, which is not ideal. Opening day will let people off. Scott Kent behind closed doors. Game on Tuesday. Going to Hammy as well. So yeah, that was. I've enjoyed this, by the way. I've really enjoyed talking about football. I've just enjoyed this last night. It's been really, really good.
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody else has thought it's good, but I've thought it's good, and that's all I care about.
I'm with you, Matt.
Is there anything else we'd like to mention? Any of the players that we have to mention before we leave, or have we ticked off the main characters?
Reece James played well as well, really well. He got high up pitch as well, which I didn't see much of last season compared to this match just being.
He does this link-up play with Joe Powell sometimes really, really well. I know Powell got that knock, which put him back a little bit, but they seem to link up really, really well sometimes on the fan side. So if they can get that on board a little bit, maybe get Dan Gore in there as well. I think we'll have a good season. Mike Emil says, he was here Thursday, Mick, on Thursday, throwing down the gauntlet of no more moaning at the officials. Good luck with that one. No moaning in week one.
No more in week one. If we can do a quick assessment, in my view, of the referee, I thought he had a decent game yesterday. Like you said, he made got all the big decisions right. A few mistakes, a few daft fouls that were given that shouldn't have been fouls or whatever. But I thought, given his experience, which I think you said on Thursday, he's not done many EFL games, I thought he dealt with the game really, really well. Credit where credit's due. Moaning where moaning is due. I think that's got to be fair, hasn't it, Mike?
Yeah, I agree.
Moaning where moaning's merited.
Yeah.
Exactly that.
I do.
Yeah.
I like talking about football. Yes, I like talking about football as well.
Yes, I know.
First show since the Matt Hamshaw interview. So if you haven't already watched the Matt Hamshaw interview, go and have a look. It still applies. Maybe even more so after Saturday, to be honest with you. Thank you, everybody who's commented on it. We've had mostly, universally. I don't know if it's universally accepted it was really, really good, or whether my mute button on social media is working an absolute treat. I don't know. To be honest. Either way, it's worked out well for me. So thank you very much. Anything else, lads? Anything else we need to mention?
No, I thought were there big queues yesterday before we got in? Certainly down outside of the ground.
I've seen photos of big queues.
Okay.
I
was surprised. A man as worked was just straight. It was quicker than last season's.
Down that family stand side.
Mm.
They printed. Everybody's got a hard card, haven't they? As well as the digital.
Yeah.
I think in a way that's a good idea, considering that it seemed as though it was on the verge of collapsing. Some of this, so I think they took the sensible route. So well done.
Yeah,
lessons learned again.
And a positive. The club's listened. Things seem to be changing slowly but surely for the better.
For now. Thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. Please make sure you subscribe. As you may have expected when we get into it, I'm sure that our numbers have shot up over the last few days. So thank you everybody who has participated in the shows, like in the live chat and comments afterwards. We should also say thank you for saying hello to our Estonian friend. Sander yesterday. Chris Page. Kudos to the Estonian lad travelling side. It was really emotional speaking to him after the game yesterday. Win. So it was lovely to meet him as well. I'm sure he'll be over again at some point, and we can have him on again. He didn't want to gate crash the instant reaction, but Mick saw him and told him, come on.
I feel bad about that now. I genuinely feel bad about that.
But that was because if you haven't seen the instant reaction, you can hear from Sander in that as well.
He'll be able to show his pupils because he's a history teacher, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm really glad you got him on. Actually, Mick, it'll be a memory for him. I mean, let's face it, it was his first win as well after all these years.
Yeah. We spoke to Ben later on, and Ben were really annoyed that he'd been to the game because Ben's in Mexico, and that was the only way we're going to get to see any clips from his Twitter feed. He'd been scrolling Twitter all afternoon trying to find his feed, and he couldn't find it, and then obviously realised they were at game. So there you go.
Oh God.
Yeah. Thought might have a signing coming. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. We're back Thursday for the next show, which will be a preview of Stevenage away. We already have the scout report booked in, so we'll be speaking to some guys from Stevenage to give us the rundown of what to expect from Alex Ravel. They want an opening day as well. We may well do a fancy football update at some point during the week as well if we can find some time for something, but we'll see what happens with that. If you're watching live, make sure you give us a thumbs up as well. If you're listening after on iTunes, Spotify, wherever that may be, make sure you give us 5-star rating, subscribe, follow, whatever your thing allows you to do. Thank you, Mick. Thank you, Steve. And thank you, Sam.
You're welcome.
Thank you all for watching. Being with us tonight. We will see everybody next time. And as always, up the Millers.
Up the Millers.
Comes for more. 2 for Jonson, 2 for Rotherham. Shoots. Ravel, vicious, but brilliant! The sweetest feeling for Rotherham United!
One's got round the back, and Richard Wood has done it again!